Hey guys! Dusk crept slowly between the tall buildings of Seoul, painting the sky in soft hues of orange and violet. The night wind whispered through the studio's glass windows, carrying the echoes of laughter from rehearsals and the rising rhythm of a quickening heartbeat. In the corner of the room, the stage lights still glowed dimly, casting lingering shadows of two figures who could never escape the spotlight, Jungkook and Jimin. I remember that day vividly, April 23, 2025, when the world stood still in the wake of Bang Si-hyuk's startling revelation. Every ARMUWA, as BTS fans are fondly called, held their breath, hearts caught in limbo, wondering what truly happened between Jungkook and Jimin. Now, let me take you back to the fragile moment that changed everything, not with headlines or hashtags, but with human emotion. +++. 8 in the morning. The stadium was silent, save for the quiet flicker of red spotlights gliding across the stage floor. Jungkook stood alone in the middle, his eyes tracing the rows of empty seats. His body was still, but his chest held a storm of questions. Questions that no rehearsal could answer. Behind the curtain, Jimin appeared. His steps were cautious, heavy, as if each one carried the weight of words unsaid. In his hand, he clutched a crumpled piece of paper. Without a word, he extended it to Jungkook. It was a message from Bang Si-hyuk, one Jimin had read just moments before stepping into this shared silence. They are not only souls united by music, but also vessels of emotion that sometimes cannot be contained. Jungkook's fingers trembled slightly as he took the note. Their eyes met, one filled with confusion, the other with clarity laced in vulnerability. The stage light above them didn't just illuminate their faces, it revealed years of partnership, conflict, healing, and longing. Then Jimin spoke, voice quiet, barely brushing the air between them. You know, Jungkook, since the day we debuted, I've always been beside you. Not just as a teammate, but as someone who felt everything you felt, even when you tried to hide it. Jungkook blinked. Behind his stillness was a lifetime of memories, shared stages, whispered encouragements, late-night confessions, and silent fights. They had always known how to find each other, but they had also learned how to drift apart without meaning to. In that moment, no music played, no fans cheered, there was only them, and a silence so full, it rang louder than any concert. From outside the stage, someone watched. Someone who knew nothing of stardom, only the routine of cables and light filters. Sundiata, a lighting technician who often greeted them with a warm smile and casual nod, happened to record 5 seconds of that exchange. Not the words, just a look, a long, unbroken gaze, heavy with truth. That night, he uploaded the clip with a simple title, Them Behind the Stage, Human, Not Just Idols. Within minutes, it exploded. Millions of views, thousands of comments, and one universal feeling, this was real. Fans from across the globe wrote, cried, reflected. One comment stood out, I cried watching this. They're strong, but they're also fragile. I'm proud to call myself ARMUWA, at heart in my chest. Later that evening, Bang Si-hyuk did something unexpected. For the first time in 5 years, he gave a live interview. He looked tired, aged not by time, but by the burden of stories left untold. With a voice trembling yet calm, he began. They were asked to smile, even when their hearts were breaking. To perform, even when they hadn't spoken to each other for days. This industry demands perfection, but perfection comes at a cost. He spoke of the tension that had quietly built over time. Jungkook wanted to explore darker themes, deeper sounds. Jimin, ever the light, feared losing the vibrance that defined their image. Creative divergence, while natural, had grown into emotional distance. Late-night rehearsals turned into cold silences. Shared rides became separate cars. And then came the confession. They almost gave up, not on BTS, but on each other. They almost chose silence over resolution. But then, in their quietest moment, they realized, without each other, they weren't whole. In the following days, a tidal wave of emotion swept through the fandom. On Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere, fans began sharing their own interpretations of moments. They replayed old footage, looking for signs they had missed. At a glance exchanged during an award speech. A hand rested too long on a shoulder backstage. A tear wiped just before a final bow. One fan wrote, "When Jimin brushed Jungkook's hand at Lollapalooza, I saw more than friendship. I saw care. I saw devotion." At Moonlit Serenade, others posted slowed-down edits of rehearsal videos, including the now viral, hidden conversation in London. In one frame, Jungkook is seen whispering something into Jimin's ear. Jimin laughs, but then turns away, his smile fading into something unreadable. It wasn't scripted, it wasn't staged, it was human. And then came the moment that stitched everything back together. A charity concert in Busan, on the cold sand of a quiet beach. The sea murmured beside the stage as fans wrapped in blankets waited in silence. When Jungkook and Jimin appeared under the night sky to sing Spring Day, it felt like time paused. Their voices met in the middle, Jungkook's deeper timbre and Jimin's light, airy tone weaving through the chill night air. It wasn't perfect, a note cracked, a line rushed, but it was real, so achingly, beautifully real. In the final chorus, they turned to each other. Their eyes locked, not like performers, but like people. People who had walked through pain and found each other again on the other side. And then, with no choreography, no cue, just instinct, Jungkook reached out. Jimin stepped closer. They embraced. A short, raw, unscripted embrace that said more than any lyric could. We are stronger together. On stage, in life, in every heartbeat. The crowd didn't cheer. They cried. The beach filled with the sound of sniffles and soft sobs. And in the silence after the song, it wasn't just fans who healed. It was them. What followed wasn't a fairy tale. It was real life. Therapy sessions, honest talks, fights, still. But now, with understanding. Now, with space to grow. Together. In interviews, they didn't shy away anymore. They acknowledged the rift. They acknowledged the love. And they reminded everyone watching. True friendship isn't about always agreeing. It's about choosing to stay, even when it's hard. So what remains now? The mystery lingers, as it always will when emotions are involved. But what's clear is this. Their story continues. Not as perfect idols, not as a manufactured duo, but as two souls who survived the weight of their own legends, and each other. Jungkook and Jimin remind us that behind every polished performance, every glossy music video, are two human beings craving connection. They are not just artists. They are not just friends. They are something undefinable, something more. And maybe that's the point. Let this be our takeaway. That every relationship, whatever its form, needs room. Room to stumble, room to cry, room to forgive. That sometimes the most beautiful truths are hidden behind imperfect moments. And that true strength lies not in being flawless, but in being honest. Tonight, the stars still burn above Seoul. And somewhere beneath that sky, two hearts continue to walk beside one another. No longer in silence, no longer in fear, but with hope. Because this story, it's far from over. And neither are they.